What a fantastic day. Yesterday, well, that caught me by a little bit of a surprise. The night before wasn't such a big shock because you do expect thunder showers here at this time of year, but yesterday morning was definitely a surprise and caught me out really because it was quite heavy at times during the morning. Can you guess where I am from behind me? I thought we needed a beach day today after all that rain, so I've come down to check out Surin Beach. You see, I'm not quite sure what they're doing here. I'm not sure at all what this is going to be, but they are doing some work here. Maybe it's going to be a nice area with tables and chairs and nature, a nice pond. I'm not sure, really don't know, because this area has changed a lot since I first started coming here. The area itself here, this was all wasteland, just natural trees everywhere. Now, as you can see, there's quite a large car park, so good facilities here at Surin for parking. It makes it very easy for the beach, because at one stage the actual beach area here, that was the only parking just in front there, and sometimes it got really busy. So there has been some improvements, plus they have made an area over the back there where they hold markets. So at different times of the year you'll get festivals and markets taking place over there, and it's a great place to explore if you happen to be here when one of those markets are actually taking place. Then you can get some food and drink, and I have covered that. There was one here at New Year, so if you haven't seen that, go and check that video out. It was filmed on New Year's Eve. Well, we're going to make our way down the area. I'm just going to look along the back of the beach first so you can take a look. That is going to be one very large pond when it's all completed and finished. I presume that's what they're going to make it into. Surin is a big favourite with families because it does offer some great facilities, and of course you're not too far away from Kamilar, about 10 minutes on a scooter or in a car. If you've got your own transport, very easy to get over to Kamilar Beach. And of course you're only a few minutes away from Bantam. So not only have you got the fabulous beach here at Surin, you've also got those other beaches as well. Markets, actually there's 3 markets nearby. You've got the Bantam market, which we took a look at the soy that market is held on twice a week. That's 10 minutes away from here. You've also got a market that's held on at the mosque most days of the week, the front of the mosque on the main Bantam Road. And then of course you've got the Boat Avenue market, which is held once a week on a Friday. So there's a big area here, concrete area just in front, just behind these cars, and they have markets on from time to time. I can't tell you exactly when because they just come and go at random times, but if you're lucky enough to be here, oh, strawberries. Swaddy Cap, good morning. If you're wondering, it's just coming up to 11:30 in the morning, and that's where I was New Year's Eve, on there having some food, and then we came down to the beach and watched the fireworks. So this area was the old parking for Surin Beach, and of course people still park here. There's plenty of parking, but it does get very busy here, so you can go to that car park where we started from if there's no room down here. And we're just going to take a little walk along the back edge of the beach here so you get an idea of the vendors and the stuff that you can get here on the beach. Now, Surin Beach has changed a lot over the years. At one time there used to be a lot of restaurants down towards the bottom part or the northern part of the beach, but those were all demolished because they were deemed illegal. So now what you've got is non-permanent structures which they can get away with. As long as it's not a permanent building, that's deemed illegal in this area because of the beach. Surin Beach is classified as a white beach, or should be, and there should not be any commercial activity on a white beach. However, you will see sunbeds, parasols, all that. Technically, they shouldn't be on a white beach. But this is part of Thailand and especially part of Phuket. But all these are temporary structures, so these are allowed because they're not permanent. My God, they've got a big gas oven there. Do pizzas inside and burgers. That's new. I've not seen that before. Let's just be nosy and have a quick look at the prices. Okay, well the burgers are not that cheap at $2.60 and $300. The pizzas are not too bad, $2.50, $300. I wouldn't say cheap, but not too bad, I guess, if you're taking the consideration of where you are on Surin Beach. So you've got that view. Obviously, you're going to be able to sit at some tables and chairs. Plenty of options when it comes to buying stuff, whether it be hats. I like that red one with a sunny face on it. I just noticed that. And of course, you've got plenty of places to buy a little bit of food and drink. Choice is massive. Even more restaurants than the last time I was down here now. So, forever expanding. At some stage, these will be cleared, I'm sure of it, because they are encroaching on a white beach. As we've talked about in the past, the government are very slow here to act, the local government, to enforce the laws. There is laws on the sunbeds, as we've talked about before. Only 10% is earmarked for the beds on certain beaches, not on all beaches. As I mentioned, Surin is actually classified as a white beach. Oh, nice. So, going back to yesterday's weather, as we saw, we can change very quickly. No guarantees over here in Phuket, and this is one of the reasons why I've said to people, watch the channel, forget about the weather apps, because they can be very misleading, very inaccurate. The weather can change unpredictably at very short notice. So heavy rain in the morning yesterday, and then in the afternoon, not quite as nice as it is today, but it was reasonable. A little bit more windier yesterday afternoon than what it is today, but there's still a breeze, as you can see. That's helped to clear those showers away from yesterday. Wow, a lot of vendors down here. A lot of vendors now. Swaddy Cap, good morning. More hats. Feeling it's time to buy a new hat. Definitely, if you're going to take some food here, you've got a fantastic view. That's for sure. I've got a feeling we're going to have a late summer this year. And what I mean by that is, past years that have gone by, I've seen it when it's been raining in February and March, which we've had, as you've seen, that the weather shifts slightly back a little bit. According to the Met Office, when the official summer started was a little bit late, they announced it, so we could be looking at a late summer, so we could get a nice April and May and possibly into June. We have seen it before, going back a few years ago. If you take a look at some of my videos there, Phuket actually faced a drought. I think that was about 4 or 5 years ago. It was before COVID that I filmed it, and all the reservoirs were running dangerously low because we had no water up until virtually the end of June. No rain. So the rains were very late coming that year. And we could be seeing the same this year because, as I've said, normally it doesn't rain in March. Not like yesterday. It doesn't do that. We have the occasional thunder shower, which is expected because of the heat and needed at times to cool everything down. Looking beautiful today, I've got to say. Really, really nice. But we will have to wait and see what happens. Swaddy Cap, good morning. Nice. Can I look?
Yes.
Okay. Let's just have a quick look at the menu. Good morning. Got some starters there. I hope you can see those prices. again, good prices considering you're sitting there. So you do expect the beach restaurants to be a little bit more pricey over here because of course you're paying for the location, it's like everything. But generally that doesn't look too bad. The prices on there, reasonable. 200 for a massaman curry, around the 120 baht mark for noodle dishes. Chicken tom yum, one of my favourites. Interested. I'm not going to spend too much time looking at the menu. It can be a bit boring at times. Oh wow. So there's now vendors all the way along this back edge of the beach. Good morning. There wasn't quite as many the last time I was down here, and if you go back over my Surin videos you will see at one stage there was virtually none at all. But they've crept back in. I guess people have got to make a living, I understand that. But there has to be a balance, and unfortunately that's where they fall apart here. There is no balance between how many facilities there are. There's either none at all or way too many, and that's what's the big problem, is finding that balance where you've got enough sunbeds to keep people happy but without overwhelming the beach, enough restaurants to keep people happy but not without overwhelming the area, because of course now we have all the way along the back edge of Surin Beach there are places where you can get food and drink. So choices, the options are endless by the looks of it. So what we're going to do is do a little bit of a circle. We're going to jump onto the beach in a moment. There is a restaurant, and that's been here for a long time, right at the end of Surin Beach. This is the southern end of Surin Beach. Again, I'm going to be going in these restaurants and checking them out over time, because I'm sure you're going to want to know whether they're any good. And honestly, I don't know, because the problem is over time they do change owners. Massive choice. Absolutely massive choice here. So let's jump onto the beach and take a look at it this morning. If you're wondering about the prices of sunbeds, they're normally around the 200 baht mark for 2 beds and a brolly. Sorry Cap, good morning. How much are the beds? 100. For one bed? Yeah, for a set? 100 baht for the set? 100. Yeah? 200. Ah, 200. So it's 200 baht the set. Okay, thank you, Captain Cap. So there you go. So I was right. Normally around the 200 baht mark on most of the beaches. So when you've got the amount of sunbeds that you've got on here at the moment, you can understand it's a very profitable business, and that's why the vendors tend to take advantage and put more and more beds on. Unfortunately, it's called greed. Instead of just being happy with a certain amount, they want more and more, and that eventually spoils the beach, and then of course local governments move in and take them all away, and then the cycle starts again. And this has been going on for as long as I can remember, for all the time I've been coming to Phuket. It's a cycle. You get it for a while and then the government will move in, the local government, and they'll take them all away and say they're illegal. You can see there, nice big restaurant there. Nice. Wow, look at the water. Ooh. Look at that. Doesn't that look inviting? Wow. Can't believe the difference between yesterday morning and this morning. Well, that just shows you. So don't worry if you come out here and I know somebody left a comment that they were landing the other day in pouring rain, and by the afternoon the weather was like it is now, and this is the case, so don't panic. At this time of year it's unlikely that the rain will last any time. Maybe an hour, maybe a few hours, a morning or an afternoon at very worst, but certainly not a week or a fortnight. So if you're coming out here for a holiday, then if it's going to last longer than one day, you're going to see sunshine. That's a guarantee. And you're not going to see too much rain. I'm guessing you're sitting at home now watching this video thinking, God damn, I want to be there. And honestly, I don't blame you, because it is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic today. One thing you do have to keep in mind with Surin Beach, it can be quite a dangerous beach, and I say that because if you notice the people in the ocean there, they're not that far out really, and it is reasonably deep, and that's the only thing I would say about Surin Beach. It does tend to drop away quite quickly, so of course if you've got families and children, you do need to keep an eye on them if they're younger children, just in case they get out of the depth. But apart from that, the beach is fantastic here. Of course, you do have to watch it in low season, because again, Surin suffers from undercurrents like most of the beaches on the west coast, which I've spoken about before. But at this time of year, they're perfectly safe. No jellyfish this year either. Last year we were having a jellyfish problem. I reported on that a few times, but this year we've not seen the amount that we saw the year before. They just come and go, I guess. Depends on the sea conditions. Normally jellyfish are in the ocean all the time, of course, but they tend to stay out, not come in to the shoreline. But last year we did have a spate where we were getting a lot that was coming in, but this year we've not seen any reports of it. Well, I haven't noticed any in the media, which is nice. So jellyfish sting can be unpleasant, to say the least. Looks like you can catch a boat to the Laem Singh beach as well, which is difficult to get at from Surin. It's not too far away from here, very close to Camelot. It doesn't say a price on there, I don't think. Sorry Cap, good morning. How much to go to Laem Singh? 200 baht. There and back? Yeah, okay. And what time's the boats run?
How many people?
Just for 2 people.
2 people, you can wait on 20 minutes, nah?
Uh-huh.
It's 4 people, okay, both go.
Oh, okay, so they run all day, do they?
Yeah.
And then how long can you stay?
Up to you.
Right, and then when you want to come...
What time you come back, you stay me.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. Cope and Cap, thank you. Well, there you go. So you can catch your boat any time of the day. 200 baht. I'm guessing that's per person. There and back. So 100 baht each way. Again, I've got to say that's reasonable. I mean, we're in Surin. If you wanted to go there on a scooter, it'd take you maybe 5-8 minutes to get there from here on a scooter. But then, of course, you haven't got any access legally onto that beach. That is the problem, because the land surrounding the beach is privately owned and there are fences around it. I have seen people walking across it, but as I've mentioned before, it really isn't wise to go on private property, because certain individuals over here, they have guns, they have knives, they can take it the wrong way and you are trespassing. So you're basically in the wrong and you could get yourself into a difficult position. So keep that in mind. People are going across the land. I have seen it myself over the last few months. I've seen people going down the hill, parking at the top on the road and going down the hill. But technically you're trespassing, so just keep that in mind. That way you're not doing anything wrong, you're not going to have any problems. A couple of $100 to go there and back, I think it's worth it. Personally myself, it's worth it. But if you want to walk across the land, then that's up to you. There are signs that tell you to keep out, that it's private property and there's no trespassing allowed. Wow, plenty of people here on Surin Beach today, that's for sure. Of course, today is the 10th of March, Monday the 10th of March. We're going to do a bit of a circle. We're going to walk all the way down to the northern end of the beach, drop off at the beach down there and take a look at what restaurants are down there, because I'm sure there's going to be some restaurants and vendors selling stuff down the northern end as well, because from what I can see it's running all the way down. Water sports here on the beach as well, starting at 1200, 1500 baht to rent a jet ski. Just bear in mind, if you do rent a jet ski, use common sense. Take some video before you take it out, make sure it's not damaged, because there have been people saying, jet ski vendors are scamming them, saying there's damage on the jet ski when it was already there. And if you don't take video, then you really aren't going to be able to prove that. So I think they got them moored out there. I wonder why that is. It's probably because, as I mentioned at the start of this video, this is a white beach. So, as I mentioned, no water sports allowed here on this beach. No brollies, nothing should be on here, even though there is. But technically, they're all breaking the law. So, at any time, they could get a visit from the officials, get fined, moved off the beach. And I think that's why they're parking them off the beach. Now, a topic I'm going to be covering in the coming months is the black water problem here in Phuket. The water that runs from the towns into the sea. A lot of people have mentioned it. I know Kamalar has problems with their canal. That's been in the media quite recently. Surin also had a problem not long ago with black water. Whether it's been resolved now, I don't know. Patong suffers the same, Qatar has the same. So we're going to take a look at that and see how bad it is, because during the COVID epidemic, that completely was eradicated, basically. In fact, the canal that runs in Qatar was the clearest I've ever seen it in all the time I've been here in Phuket during the COVID period. But now, unfortunately, I definitely wouldn't want to be going anywhere near that. And they have actually closed the section where you used to be able to walk along it off. Now, why that is, I don't know. They're going to probably say the walkway is unsafe, and parts of it was unsafe. But I think also the other side is it's not the most beautiful part of Qatar to walk along by the side of that, and the smell that comes from it at times isn't that nice. But that's me just giving my opinion. That may not be the case. It may be just that they feel that the walkway is unsafe. But if that's the reason, then I'm not sure why it's not being repaired. it's just closed off, or it was the last time I was over in Qatar. Whether it's been reopened now, I don't know. So again, if you know, if you're staying in Qatar at the moment or have stayed in Qatar in the last few months or weeks, please drop me a comment down below. Let me know whether that walkway has now reopened. It runs past, what's the name of the hotel? It runs behind, I can't quite think of it. The Ozo, I think it's called. The Ozo Hotel. It runs sort of parallel with that, behind that. And there's a canal that runs from the town of Qatar out into the northern end of the beach. But part of it, there was a walkway that people could walk down to get to the beach a little bit easier, but that's now been closed off, or was. Wow. A lot more sunbeds here at this end. So if you are after sunbeds, then the concentration of them is a lot heavier the northern end of the beach. There's less at the southern end. So if you're not looking for sunbeds and you want a little bit of space, then you can go down towards the southern end. I will say that they are set right at the back of the beach, again because of the reasons what I've said. If they push their luck, then the officials are going to come in and clear them all off, and they're going to lose a lot of income. You imagine how many sunbeds are here, all the way running down there. Imagine how much money is involved in that. 200 baht a set every day. I don't know how many's there, but there's a lot. There's a lot more than 10%, that's for sure. That's the legal 10 to 12%, I think, the legal limit on some beaches. Not on here, because as I've mentioned, Surin is classified as a white beach. So there should be no commercial activity whatsoever on a white beach. It's not allowed. But of course, some of the beaches like Patong and Qatar, they're not white beaches, so they can have commercial activity on them, but they have to have permits and licenses, and they have to keep within a certain limit, which most do not. They just put more and more, unfortunately. Wow. Quite a few people swimming here in the northern end. Nice little spot actually, because of obviously the rocks. So going to be great for children if you've got snorkeling gear, having a look at the marine life and seeing what's there, because the oceans around Phuket are full of life, that's for sure. Right, how do we get off the beach down here, because there's so many brollies? There's a set of ladders going up off the beach just over there, I can see. So we're going to go off there and then walk back along the back edge. Whew. It is getting very warm indeed. Whew. Oh. Nice place to come and sit and have some lunch, I must admit. Do drop some comments down, let me know if you've been to Surin Beach and you've checked any of these places out, had some food. Are they good? Are they not good? Are they expensive? Are they cheap? What's your feelings about this here? So it seems most of the restaurants are down this end. The other end, the southern end, seems to have a mixture of vendors, restaurants and vendors selling beach stuff and accessories and different stuff, but down here it seems to be more restaurant heavy from what I can see. I don't see anybody selling any accessories down this part. Good morning. I think it's probably just about coming up to 12 o'clock now. It's probably no longer morning. The No Name restaurant. Nice places to eat, I must admit. Very nice. Oh, massage place there. Again, nice place to take a massage with a nice view, apart from all the tables. So, drop me some comments down below. Let me know your thoughts on Surin Beach. Do you like it? Do you want to visit it? Have you visited it? Are there any pros? Are there any cons to this beach? I think I've covered most of the pros and the cons here. But what do you think? Do you think these vendors should be allowed to do all this freely, or should there be more restrictions? Because bearing in mind, as I've said, this is a white beach. So technically all this shouldn't be allowed. But of course, where there's tourism and demand, people will always fill that demand. It's never going to go away, I don't think. And I think the local governments know that. As fast as they move them off, they're back again. So it's a cycle of life, shall we say. But drop me some comments, let me know your feelings. Don't forget, if you've enjoyed today's video, then please do give me the old thumbs up. It will help push the channel forward. Of course, if you're one of those that still haven't yet subscribed, click that button. And I guess that brings us to the end of today's video. And I will catch you very soon.